What's good, everyone, and welcome to my round 15 review, which saw us score a round of 2,266. We went up further ranks around 796 rankings to put us in the top 2,000. We are on the climb, and I think it was a great round considering no trades made. The buy sat perfectly for us, and I think we've really primed ourselves. Although we are heavy on that GWS Gold Coast train, I think we have primed ourselves for the back end of the year. Still 10 trades available, and I think we're going to be needing a few because a few injury concerns that everyone's aware of, but I will talk about. But I think we're prime time. 10 trades to still use. I do believe that we've got around 2-3 spots to fill, so getting tight on that, but everything's working so far. And hopefully we continue to climb. This week coming, the last buy round, which I still think we are. It's probably our worst buy round, but I think we can have a fieldable team to compete. So let's go into it. I'm probably going to start with not the elephant in the room because everyone knows about it, but it's Sinclair with the 4. I really inhabited my score to what it could have been because I had a few underperformers still that really brought my score down, and I had a few really big performers which kind of evened out my score. So it was Sinclair with a round score of 4. He's done his calf, I believe, and they're saying it's going to be lucky to be back by the end of the year. So I think that's a must trade this round. It's just depending on where you want to go with that pick now. But we'll get to that. There's someone I do want on his team that I've been talking about week priors and that sort of thing that I think is going to work out perfectly now that there's more bold to go back down there. But let's go through everyone, hey. We'll go start with Holmes, 128. He has the perfect Supercoach role, especially for the defense, mid-end defense. He's going to be the #1 defender for the rest of the year. 128, he's an absolute must-have. If you don't have him, you need him in your back line. And I feel like if you don't have him, a lot of people are going to be jumping off Sinclair to him because he is the one to go for, although he is on his buy. So can't complain. As I always say, can't complain is my words when I see a score I like. So Lucky Ash also can't complain. It was one of the highest scores for GWS, the 113. Happy with that, to be honest. He's still cementing that halfback role, stealing a lot of it off of Whitfield as well. He gets his short stints in the midfield, which is not as well scoring wise, but he can still produce there. So yeah, he's a great pick, and if you jumped on him at that buy, you've made a right choice, in my opinion. Bailey Dale kind of climbed there late. He was looking not great once again, and he slowly crawled his way back to 109, which I'm super happy with because of the recent scoring. It was something to keep an eye on because I thought he was going to be going a downward trend, but 109 is happy in my eyes. Then Sinclair, we got a 4. Which is really crap, to be honest. I feel for him. Everyone feels for him, but it's going to play a role in a lot of Supercoach sides because he is one of the most highly owned players in the whole entire league because he's been great this year. Slowly climbed down a little bit of recent times when Nas has gone back on the side, but we really need to see what potential moves we are looking for Sinclair. Someone that's maybe potentially just come off their buy might be the move. We'll have a look at that later on. Nothing to discuss in this video, but I've really got my eye on Nasiah Wangan and Malira now. Houston, I have held. It was more of a luxury trade to myself, and I just copped it. 84. It's crazy that we're saying 84 is happy for him, like a decent score. He could score way bigger, but he just doesn't impose himself as he should. He doesn't have that mentality that he did have at Port, where he just commanded the ball, everything flowed through him. It's just a different role, and he can still put out some bigger scores every now and then, but it's just a foul pick on my behalf. And then Hugo, 96, absolutely insane. Can't get better than this pick. He's like a Supercoach gods were like, here you go, here's Hugo, and he's been put on. We've played him through the buys. He's been excellent cover. Just a great pick. Everyone's got him as well, though, so everyone's serious, that is. And then we had Dirksen, who actually played 68, which is A fieldable score if you really need it, especially when you compare it to some of those mids, which I'll talk about. But yeah, he's going to rise in value still. Could be a late mover for myself, or I could just hold him as bench cover. I don't know what his job security is like, so I could use him for one of my final moves for the year, I reckon. And then Pharaoh did not play, but I'm still holding the bloke. I think he's got more to rise. I think his break-even's around that 48 region, but depending on Robert's situation and if he comes back this week, if he does, I might be inclining to trade. If he doesn't, I'm gonna keep him because it's a lot of bowl to go to Pharaoh. I feel like he could fill that role pretty well. Those big, massive scores out of the gates is kind of what he could do, I think. So looking to keep Pharaoh. He'll stay there. It really depends on the team sheets, though. They've got North this week at Marvel, so you never know. We got Butters, ultra consistent, 124, can't complain. Had the tag, he fought through it. He's got the tag every week, and he struggled with it last year, but this year he's been great. So he's the number one midfielder for myself. I think that he really is a must-have. Dobont, he's back, 142. He did things with ease. He was trying to will Bulldogs over the line, and he did it. So fieldable score, not fieldable, countable score is what I meant. He's going to his buy right now, so he'll be sitting on the bench this week. But 142 is massive. Nick Dacos. Oh, Port just let this bloke run riot. The week that he hits targets is this week in the wet against Port. Of course it is, but there was no plan from Port to hold him. He was at 20 touches at halftime. He could do anything he wanted, and it was kind of depressing to watch, but I knew that I could still have his score. So yeah, in the back of my head, it was like, okay, fair enough, whatever. Port going nowhere. I'll have a big Nick Dacos score. Callahan, 103. He's been an all right pick for us so far. He could have been Dawson and get that 180 something, but 103 is still fine for his value. I think he's going to hover around that for the rest of the year. A little bit disappointing is Clayton Oliver with a 78. A lot of hand passes this week. Didn't really do a lot of the grunt work that he usually does. 78's not great, but I will give him a mulligan because he's been a great pick for the whole year. This dude is absolutely, he's pissing me off. Luke Davies-Uniacke with a 58. What are you doing, bro? How is a 58 as one of the big leaders as yourself? How is that okay? It's not okay from my side. I've got Dirksen scoring higher than a 58. I was watching the team sheets. I was like, what is happening? I didn't bother to watch the actual game because I don't think many people did, but it's frustrating, especially when that was supposed to be like a bargain. Everyone was saying LDU's the pick to go. My one Kangaroos player, I thought, no, not my one Kangaroos player. We've got two now. It was just a foul pick, I think, by myself. But it's early days. We got to let it run. He's also going to be towards the back end of the year a luxury trade, so not looking to rage trade. You can't get rid of last week's points. You can't get last week's points, as I said with Dawson, and he didn't perform as he did the week prior. So people that chase Dawson's points still got a nice, decent score, but nothing compared to the week prior. Matt Rowell 90. You know what? I can take a Matt Rowell 90. To be honest, the Matt Rowell 90 is fine for the value we chose him for. He's not going to be getting me the grand prize, but he is going to be filling that role that we do need consistently. Hopefully it's going to be that 80 to 110 for the rest of the year. And then Cumming 91. That's crazy. I didn't really expect that, but I think they changed his role a little bit and it suits him so well to the point where I'm really confident in putting him on field, and he's got way more money to make if he's going to put a couple 91s out. So that could be our last point to tip us over the edge for one of our primos towards the end of the year. Then Merritt, Schoenberg, and then Ison on the bench, 32, is actually losing cash, so that's crazy. But fine, whatever, I don't really care. And then Maxi Gorn, 140. He's great without Heath on the side. If Heath isn't in the side, that's a captainable score right there. I didn't go there for captain because of Jackson the first night, Thursday against, who was it? It was whoever it was. He ran right. I really forgot who they were playing. But once he was playing the Cats, I knew that going into the round that Jackson was playing against the Cats. So I ran with it. Geelong is always known as the no ruck team, and Jackson absolutely took a dump on all of them. 176 is my highest captain score for the whole entire year. Use that vice. Connor McKenna, put the C on, buddy. Give me that 176 plus times two. So crazy. But there's a lot of really ceiling scores. We've got Nick Dacos 159, Bontempelli 142, Gorn 140, Jackson 176, Sheezer 153, and even Horn Francis 128 is crazy. Holmes 128. Like, there's a lot of really big scores, but we've got a few like Oliver, Luke Davies-Uniacke, Touk Miller, Pickett, Alga that brought our scores down a little bit. So it kind of evened itself out. So if we had some other performers in those roles, we were probably going to put up a really big score. But lucky I had best 18 because that really put a lot of our lower scores to the side. Sheezer 153 was everywhere. Absolute ball magnet. Horn Francis. I think it's crazy he had this much. I didn't think he had that much impact on the game, or 128. But I looked at the scoring sheet, and all his stuff was super ultra, like clean, damaging. It was surprising, but I'll take it. And he's been an awesome pick after those couple stinkers. Petrarca 101, not as big as we could have seen from Petrarca, and that price for Petrarca is kind of crazy. If you don't have Petrarca, I would jump on right now. I'm not sure what his break even is, but that's a crazy price for Petrarca. Pickett, oh my god, this dude he pisses me off so much. This is the ultimate roller coaster pick. It's always the Shy Bolton types, Pickett, Rankin. One week you could get 150, the next week you can get 50. So we get the 50 this week, so it's really disappointing, but what can you do? We don't have any other forward options, which is why I've left that last spot really late. I think Murdoch is potentially being traded to someone this week. I don't know who that last role filler is going to be. I'll have to think about it all week, but yeah, it's really frustrating, but we have to live with it. Same as our Touk Miller, a 75. We just don't have any other options. I just have to live with that. There's nothing else in the forward line that's going to be a serviceable, consistent score. It's all up and down, up and down, up and down, because that's just the forward type of role. Some weeks you're going to have 5 goals and 30 touches. Other weeks you're going to have 15 touches and a goal and a point. So, yeah, real disappointing with Pickett. But Touk Miller is also disappointing because he's had crap scores since I pulled him in. I thought it was going to be that consistent 100, but he's definitely been but that. And I'm not too mad because we do have no options. On the bench, Banfield did not play. Murdoch did not play. He was on the bye. And Alga, I thought he could have a bag again. Nah, just a 41, which is fine. Nothing to complain about. So that's the team. That's where we're at. We've got 3 trades to use, which we may even potentially use them this week. Looking to make some of my last changes. While we're here, let's just swap people onto field who are going to be playing. So I believe Dirks will hold his spot. So that's playing, except Holmes, okay, but I think we'd be trading Sinclair out anyway this week, so we can probably field everyone in defense. Midfield, off you go, Bont, have a rest, mate. And Merritt goes on, and everyone is playing with an emergency. That's great. Rux, you're not going to do anything there, so Banksy Gone's got the rest. And then Murdoch will probably not be in the team, but if he is, there he is. He's going to play and he's going to field a role. McKenna is definitely not going to be the captain, but he will be playing as well. So we're pretty much good. We'll have one definite not playing, which is gone. And with other roles going to be filled. So I'm thinking we can, really attack this bye as well and climb even further. But that's that. We do have a Thursday night at the Gabba, it looks like. Brisbane versus Sydney. Interesting. I might even look to see if I can get a Heaney in. I might be biting off a bit more than what I can chew, but we'll see what the team looks like and what flexibility I have with the money on my bench right now. I've got Farrow to move. I've got Murdoch to move. I've got Alga making me money. I've got Dirksen making me money, Cumming making me money. So we've got a few options here and there. We'll see what happens. But thanks everyone for hanging out as usual. I'll catch you all probably in 2 days and 21 hours. See you all. Bye-bye. Bye. Ugh.